Hello and welcome to Off the Beaten Pot. My name is Tom, this is my dad, and we have just stopped for some homemade instant... Oh, I'm looking at me, not the bloody camera. So we have just... Oh, start again. Oh, you So we have just romped a fair few miles from Sharp Tor. Very nice it was too. And we found a water source, very peaty water source. Hopefully a lot of calories in that because it is pretty thick. Filtered that water and now we're going to cook with it. So for the lunchtime menu today, go inside our bag and we're going to find the one that says noodle. So basically making our own pot noodles. So you can buy the dry packets of noodles from most supermarkets or dry stores. So I've just got one of those in here. I've also got mixed herbs and a few spices, salt, pepper, and then I've got this little, I can't remember which company does it, but it's like a vegan mince made out of sesame, which is really, really proteinous. High in calories, good calories, so I'm looking forward to using that. A few sun-dried tomatoes, and then I use it a lot for making tomato pastes with, and that is the Heinz tomato soup in packets. So I tore one of those open and I've got about a third of a Heinz tomato soup in mine, and I've put a third of that packet in Dad's. Then I've rolled over the packet at home, pegged it, and it's ready to use again if I need. That's just going to give a little bit of a tomatoey taste, an extra few calories. You can make your own tomato leather. Basically, you make up a tomato sauce, you dehydrate it, then you put it in a blitzer until it's powder, and then when you put water back in, you get a nice sauce again. But again, I'm cutting out the middleman. Not everyone has access to that, so this just goes to show that you can also achieve things thinking a little bit outside the box and not being too gourmet. So you can see it on the edge here. It's caught it nicely. That red stuff is the packet dried tomato soup. It's basically a cup of soup, and that's just going to help with our sauce a little bit. So again, as ever, it's a quick lunch, so nice and easy. Take your noodle pouch, shake it out into your pot, then your waste. It's done. So I'm going to put that to one side, get my SVEA fired up so we can have our instant noodles. So as you can hear, my little rocket of a stove is going now. So we put all of these in here. I'm just going to break these noodles a bit so they sit flatter in my pot. And now I'm just going to add enough water to not quite cover them. And I'm literally just going to get that boiling up to a rolling boil, stirring it from time to time, and then when it's at a rolling boil, we can put the lid on and let it cook itself. I don't want to put too much water in because I prefer a nice thick sauce in my noodles. However, if you get runny sauce, you get runny sauce. It will still be full of flavour and goodness. So this has been going for not even a minute and it's getting a nice thick sauce. So thick, I'm just going to add a little more water because I'd like it a little thicker, and I'd also like the noodles to get cooked. So a tiny bit more. As I often say in this channel, it's very easy to make things thin, but it's harder to make them thicker again. So if you do it little bit by little bit, you've got more chance. And then just adding a little more. So the amount of water I've actually got in there now for what I've done is 300 ml or so. And now the noodles are breaking down. They're getting softer, so they're breaking down into the sauce, which is smelling very, very nice. Not too tomatoey. The herbs are coming through, the garlic. This is not as calorific as most of my meals. You can also always change that by again adding fats to it if you want to. Just adding more ingredients in general, but those little bits of protein, I'll put the sheet up about them here, or maybe here somewhere, and then you can just see what they've got going on in them, and I'll leave links to the company that sells them or creates them below. What I do like about those protein things is they don't take long at all to cook, so although they're dehydrated, I think it's about 5 or 6 minutes and they're good to go. And I'm using egg noodles here. I like egg noodles. You can use rice noodles, but egg noodles just feel a bit more substantial. So now I've got this down to a bubble. I've lowered my flame. I've been stirring it consistently so as not to let it stick and burn to the bottom, and it's looking pretty nice. Nice coating of noodles there. Another good thing to do here is, if you like cured meats, if the weather allows or your situation allows, just get some chorizo, or if you can get some saucisson sec or some cured meat, biltong. Put that in first, fry it up in a bit of oil, and then empty the packet in and go from there. That's another good way of making more flavoursome noodles, more meaty noodles, and of course more calorific noodles. The dry weight of what I did was this, and it's going to give us this many calories. I've let that just sit after getting it to a boil, making the sauce as thick as I want it. It's literally just coating it. I've put the lid on and let it just sit and steam itself for, I don't know, about 2 minutes there. If you want to fry any meat or any fresh things, do that first. Just fry until browned. Add the packets, add the water, and then get it to a rolling boil. Once it's at a rolling boil, if you have the options of simmering it for 3 minutes, or just keep it boiling. But if you're doing that, keep stirring for about 3 minutes, put the lid on for 2, and in 5 minutes you've got quite a tasty lunch that will get you through to dinner. Also, sun-dried tomatoes. The smaller the bits, the quicker they'll cook. If you do end up getting big sun-dried tomatoes, just dice them up into as small as you can bear. So that was all very nice indeed. And just to recap, so we had a slab of noodles. You can buy them from most supermarkets and shops. 2 tablespoons of sun-dried tomatoes. Same again of dried onions, and then I used probably one. I was very loose throwing this into the bag, but I probably used 1 tablespoon, 1.25 tablespoons of that sesame protein lumps. I'm sure I could make it sound much tastier than that, but very, very calorific those are. Very tasty, in fact, and really added to it. Curry powder, just a dash, a little bit spicy, not too much. All in all, I enjoyed it. I feel full now. I feel like I could nap, in fact, but we've got a few more miles or kilometers, if you don't use the mile system, to go, and then we'll be setting up for our dinner. And our dinner tonight, I'm very excited, and it'll be my next video, and that will be mushroom risotto. So that is a risotto cooked with orzo pasta, which is very exciting. So I will see you in another episode of Off the Beaten Pot. Cheers and gone.
Enchanté.